Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
I have to imagine that there are people who just choose to listen to this, but who know enough about parasocial relationships that they don't actually follow us on anything.
Right.
I want to know what they think we look like.
Right.
I would love to know.
Yeah. Any, cartoon characters, vibes. Just roast us.
Oh, that would really feed my ego.
Yeah.
I'm definitely Lightning McQueen. That's the correct answer.
Ka-chow, baby.
And you're the Italian car. The little, ones that fix.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I think it would be sacrilege to be the Pope-mobile, but I do love the cars.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
Okay, yeah. No, actually, that's the correct answer.
Yeah, just burning internally in hell as the Pope-mobile.
Our intern, Taylor, is Mater.
Fuck. Yeah.
I need someone. Here's my question for you all. I need you all to let me know who the Twilight characters are as Cars.
Fuck. In the Cars universe. Yeah, that is really important, actually. We don't often like to give homework, but this is mandatory, actually. So in order to keep listening, you have to fill out that form. Thank you.
Welcome into Twilight. You now have homework.
Yeah, you're
over
welcome.
Winter break.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yikes. Oops.
How are you? What did you have homework? What was your homework?
What was my homework?
I don't know that we assigned homework last week. How are you?
I'm great. Now I'm panicked about like a missing it's like I forgot I had a test today, and I'm like, oh shit.
That's my life.
I want to bring a show to the space here.
I'm so excited.
And I want to divert you to Discovery Plus, which we know is sort of a villain character as of this moment, as far as streaming goes. We're not like a huge fan, right? But for what they have, there is Trixie Motel.
Oh my god, okay.
The show's been out for a hot minute. I am late to this, but it is a show, because I keep seeing TikToks from people staying at Trixie Mattel's motel, and I'm like, that seems really cute and fun. And turns out there's a whole fucking television program about, renovating an old musty motel that she bought with her partner to, make her drag fantasies into a motel.
I hear audience approval.
Right, yes, the beeps are pro.
I am obsessed with this concept. I love a renovation.
Yeah.
I love HGTV, but on Discovery, which makes it more unhinged.
Yes, but it's sometimes they get it right. But there's been some renovation motel shows in the past of on Netflix that I watched because I like to see it, but I hated every moment of it because all their design stuff was not my cup of tea and was very Instagram girl boss situations. But this is let's just make, Liza Minnelli pink party in a motel. And I'm check for sure. And there's special guests. I think Zooey Deschanel is in an episode at one point for some reason. The first episode has Lisa Vanderpump for some reason.
Okay.
So it is very cute. It is very fun.
I will say, Discovery, you're on my shit list.
Yeah.
However, this does sound amazing. And I will say, if I'm being honest, I'm still trying to chase the high of that Australian, Airbnb contest show that we talked about a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
Where the couples went in and rated it.
Yeah. I forgot what that was called, but that was a very good show.
I haven't felt such a voyeuristic joy since that. And I've been trying to chase that high since.
I think what we've learned, like, as a society, and I think reality TV programs should, like, get on the train here, is that the best kinds of shows like that are for weddings, right? Like, that is the blueprint.
Exactly.
That's the blueprint.
Exactly.
And I just want that for every genre of show. I want something, a concept at the beginning of, like, this is something that's going to be judged, and I want 4 judgy bitches all judging it, and you, the viewer, also judging it. That's what I want, and I think that's what America needs to be a proper healed country. I think we could all just get together and hold hands and be catty and fun, and I think we're losing that.
Because 4 weddings, amazing concept.
Yes.
And taking that and doing it with someone's home, which is like just equally as personal as a wedding.
Completely, yeah.
Oh my God.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay. The Christmas creep is here. It's on.
Hell yeah.
I mean, my home has been decorated for a minute now.
Sure.
And then I was like, oh shit. The holiday that I celebrate is next week.
It's actually here.
It's actually like here. So that's something. I was so happily surprised by my happy thing this week. I forgot. I had seen teasers about this and I was like, oh yeah, I'll probably watch that. And then I forgot that it was this week. And that was, of course, the 30th celebration of Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Now, it's been, 6 years? Y'all know this about me. I love Disney. And what I mean by that is I love the content that's made. Walt Disney, fucking hate that. And I'm not a Disney adult. I will never be.
Yeah.
It's not me. However, I was a latchkey kid, so I grew up smelling VHS tapes because they smell like good plastic.
Right. It's part of your culture.
Beauty and the Beast was definitely one of them.
Yeah. Oh, those clatches. The way they had the VHS, like the snap covers.
Fuck.
God, that was an era.
That was like my stimming as a kid and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Proto-stimming. Yeah.
God. Because I love Beauty and the Beast so much, that means that I was heartbroken by the live action movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn, that shit was rough. And I knew this was a celebration, right? So it was like, it was an homage.
Yeah.
And when I saw the cast, I was like, fucking yes, let's go.
Everyone. Major slice.
Everyone that I love, right? Mm. Like, her, amazing. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for this gift.
Right.
The love of my life, Josh Groban.
Yeah. Martin Short. Hello.
Martin Short. Hello? Shania Twain. The amazing hero to come out of this that I've seen a lot of people talking about was Joshua Henry.
Dude.
Who played Gaston.
So good.
And I've never felt like, you know what? Maybe Gaston was right.
He fully, like, broke the ethos of the film because he's A, incredibly hot. B,
and he's so good.
Incredibly good at singing, and his voice is, like, much deeper, I think, traditionally than Gaston usually is. Like, he has a very operatic voice. And, like, I was like, damn, maybe Gaston is actually kind of fire. For sure, which is not the point.
Gaston got hands.
Oh, man.
The whole cast that they had, like, even David Alan Grier's Cogsworth. Fucking choice.
Those pants, I think about them.
Oh my God.
Constantly.
And having, like, Rita Moreno as the narrator.
Yeah.
Thank you. The chorus that they had, like, the choreography, holy fuck.
The Rose?
The Rose? Are you kidding me? Right off the bat was so much stronger than the live action movie. And this wasn't even like a musical.
Right.
It wasn't a full movie. It was more of a like homage to the development of the movie, which I personally thought was cool as fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
I was so amazed because after the live action movie, I felt like they put no time or effort into it. And this was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So, I cried when I saw her come out with the guitar.
God, her just shredding at the end, so fucking powerful. So good.
So, if you have not seen it, it's on weirdly Hulu and Disney Plus. And it was just a joy from end to end. We have a couple of updates here.
Yes.
First of which, we haven't talked about You, season 4, in a minute.
Yeah. Since the trailer, I think.
Oh, yes. Right. We finally have dates now.
Yeah.
Of when it will premiere. And Netflix is being it's being a mess.
Yeah.
But they've split this into 2 parts. The first part is coming out on February 9th. The second part is coming out on March 9th.
A little bit of a distance there.
What this does mean is that if y'all want us to do bonuses, it would be less episodes for us to have to like speed run through.
True. That is true. That would be fun. I will say too, they give an exclusive image. Entertainment Weekly. And I just forgot, but also Lucas Gage is in this, who's in the first season of The White Lotus, which will become relevant in our next next current events. But I completely forgot about that, and I'm very excited to see these 2 boys do their thing.
I was told about this piece of news from you. Could you tell me about this?
Okay, so we are back at the White Lotus, but also at Vampire Academy. I'm at the combination White Lotus Vampire Academy, essentially. Is where I'm at.
Right.
There are rumors brewing, not confirmed as of this moment, but there are rumors that
the Lindsay Lohan album.
Yeah, right, yes. Our king, Leo Woodall, who was on White Lotus and also Vampire Academy as Adrian, is dating Megan Fahey from, famously, White Lotus and The Bold Type. There's a lot of Instagram pictures, comments, little flirty things going on. Very exciting if this is true. I do also want to point out, while also finding this, I realized that Megan Fahey's long-term partner, if they are still together, who knows, is Billy Magnuson, who was the fucking Elon Musk guy in Made for Love, which rip, Made for Love.
There are so many connections.
There's so many strings. There's so many. And I get it. Megan Fahey, smoke show. She's pulling up, you know. She's got all these drama boys in her pocket. I get it. I love it.
If this is true, I love this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it does work, you know.
Oh, it 100%.
It makes sense.
All I'm going to say is that something definitely happened on that set, because wasn't one of the Haim sisters also on that set?
Yeah, I think one of them was like a
quote,
music
producer.
Right. So those parties must have been wild.
Even though there was no music, it was all like Italian music.
Sure.
So
what's going on, guys?
I love this.
Yeah. I am a truther of this until it is proven otherwise.
I want Megan to get all of, especially after watching that finale, which holy fuck. I want her to really explode in Hollywood.
I've been saying.
I want the same for Leo.
Yep.
And I'm very excited for the both of them.
Yeah. Hard agree.
This is not a White Lotus podcast, but what if it was?
But what if? Just do a hard pivot.
I mean, it honestly kind of is tangentially, because isn't the White Lotus dude, wasn't he on Survivor? So like...
Right, it all comes back.
Right. Like, it's kind of, you know,
if
he's friend of the show.
Yeah, there's reasonable connections, for sure.
God bless. When we were here last, we finished the finale of Vampire Academy, the television show.
Gosh. And
cried and yelled.
Yeah.
Screamed about it.
We're shaking, crying, and throwing up.
Right. Started a petition for season 2.
Yeah.
And now we're going back to the books.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
Reading is fundamental.
We are finally back in the safe and comfortable territory that is Ferrero Rocher.
Yes. I feel held.
I feel held now that we are back in Montana.
Yeah.
In fucking 2007.
We know the authorial intent is here. We feel
right.
safe.
It is, we know up is up, we know down is down, we know Liz is blonde, we know that there aren't wild technology.
Yeah.
We know who the queen is.
Right.
We know that things are supposed to be going in, like, a certain order.
Right.
Theoretically.
Right.
I was gonna say that, like, we know certain characters exist, but in chapters 1 and 2, a certain character named Meredith does show up.
Yeah, we do get a Meredith, so heyo. Although she does have a boyfriend, which boo. Homophobic.
Yeah. Yeah, seems fake to me. But.
Yeah. He goes to another school, so we haven't met him, so he's for sure real.
Yeah, he's like a quote boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, oh, Meredith has a boyfriend. Yeah, sure, okay.
Can I say I love
yes.
being back in Rose's POV. I missed it.
Can I just...
I missed it so bad because there's just... Hello, we're here in Spiritbound. We're on chapters 1 and 2. But it's been nice watching the show, but I really missed so much of what Rose was and how much, like...
Yes.
I liked her, like, reading this as, like, a kid and, like, you know, being like, fuck yeah, she's so cool. And, like, that isn't, like... The mental stuff of, like, the actual turmoil and stuff is not really as there because we're not just in her perspective. And back here, it's like we just, like, launch back into it. And can I also say, Miss Ferrero knows how to write an opening line. Holy shit.
God damn.
When I read, there's a big difference between death threats and love letters, even if the person writing the death threat still claims to actually love you. You know I fucking freaked the fuck out of that, like, 14 years ago. It's like, that was Tumblr, that was everything. That is, like, fanfiction.
Right, exactly.
That is what the girls want, okay?
I'm gonna make that my Instagram note.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
honestly. Yeah, I will do it. Let's in solidarity. But that's what we're setting off. If you've forgotten what has happened pre this current book, because we've taken a little bit of a brief.
It is so... I think the other thing that I love so much about being in Rose's point of view is something that we had mentioned with the show, is that a lot of the components and plot lines from Rose and Lissa had gone to Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And right off the bat, we get our Bond babes back. Like,
I miss
they're
them
in step
together. I miss them, like, actually talking to each other.
And I didn't realize how much I missed that.
Yeah.
God damn.
Okay, so
this letter hurt me really bad, though.
It was... Dimitri's still pulling his fuck shits, because as we know, he's now a Strigoi, did not get killed by Rose.
And the last book ended with a letter from him when she had, like, just gotten back,
right, like,
to
with
Montana.
the stake, I think, too.
When he was like, I'm watching you. Whoa, whoa,
right,
whoa.
you thought you got me? Try next time.
Right.
Don't hesitate. Whatever. His shit.
I look pretty good for a dead bitch.
Right.
Like,
yeah. And it seems like, from the context of this, that now she is getting these regularly. She's getting, like, a letter from him once a week, which...
That's gotta fucking suck.
Yeah. Like, imagine just, like, going to school, living at school, and, like, checking your mail and being like, it's Friday. I got another sexy but threatening letter from who was the love of my life, but now is an undead evil man.
So much worse than seeing Mason.
Yeah.
Like, your dead, clingy boyfriend around.
Yeah. It's, like, a totally different... Absolutely. Yeah, so this letter is fucked up because he's just like, hey, we could have had a life together, but you kind of fucked that up. And now, you know, you're kind of too good. I was going to kill you then, but now I can't even turn you now because now you're too powerful and too strong. And I can't let that happen. And then there's also, you pissed off a lot of Strigoi, so they're going to get you too. So I have to be the one who kills you. So see ya later. Once you graduate, it's open season, baby.
The first time that I read this, it hurt.
Yeah.
Now that I'm looking at it again, it reads like an email from Nancy Pelosi.
I'm desperate. I need $4,000 from you.
If she's getting these every fucking week, can you imagine?
Yeah, it's like, bro, take
Can you
the
imagine
hint.
getting an email from Nancy Pelosi and it says, if you must die, it'll be by my hand, no one else's? Oh my God.
If the Democrats don't take Congress this year, you'll die by my hands.
It's just like, there's parts of this too where he's like, and we will be meeting again.
Right. It's
like,
very...
once you graduate,
right.
you're going to be out of the academy. And when you're outside the wards, I'm going to find you. Like, what the fuck?
I do love how immediately after she finishes reading that, she's like, yeah, I guess he like had warm wishes in there, but I didn't really find that letter super inspiring. So I just kind of like tossed it on my bed. And I'm like, this is the Rose I love.
I love her so much.
Because you can tell her mailbox is full at this point. She's like, I mean, I'll read it, but like, I don't, it's the same shit every time. It's like, I'm coming after you. And it's like, okay, got it. Loud and clear. Hear ya.
Yeah, you know her desk is like just piled high with these letters. Yeah. I love her.
Right.
And I miss her. And I feel like some of the television show captured this Rose, but not enough.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, this is really scary. That's a legitimate death threat.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, all right. I guess I should go graduate now.
Right. I guess I gotta do that. We get this nice little Rose Lissa moment, which I love. And it's a lot of it's like kind of the backstory and stuff. But at this point, we're leading up to the trial, the final like test to be a guardian officially and like graduate. And
yes.
It's kind of getting like a little pep talk from Lissa. And you can tell like from Rose's POV, she's very confident, but she is like nervous in the fact that like, what if I do fuck up? Like, what if I make one wrong move? What if I hesitate? Whatever. And like, what if even if I do that, I can't be Lissa's guardian or whatever? Like all of these like questions that are still kind of looming from the last book of like, I don't even know if that's a guarantee still at this point. So that fucking sucks. Even if I do like go all out, you know.
There's a part where she doesn't say this out loud to Lissa, but she's saying it to herself, where she's like, what if I wasn't as good as I thought I was? And that sucks because we find out, I mean, it's been enough time now, and we know at this point that she has killed like countless Strigoi.
Right.
Something that no one else in her graduating class has done.
Right.
And we can infer that this is not normal, right? This is not the usual place that a novice goes into these trials with. Yeah. So she is very prepared.
Right. She's on a different level than everyone else here, for sure.
Which is what the trial ends up being, which is wild.
Yes. The way they set this up is bananas. It's like it's like a stadium. They got like people. Sorry. They got people in the bleachers. It was a lot
like the fourth Harry Potter book.
Yes, that's what I was envisioning too. It's like huge bleachers, like crowds of people. This like big like obstacle course kind of vibe of, you know, different things. And then obviously
there's another fucking maze.
There's a maze, of course.
Not.
Yeah. There's this big bridge, like crickety wooden bridge. And then there's guardians like playing the role of a Moroi and a Strigoi. Or like a lot of them playing Strigoi, and then like one like sad Moroi. And it's wild.
And it's interesting, too, because they say trial. And right after, like, coming off of the television show, I was imagining that there would be magic used in this.
Right.
But it is just it's not solely a physical test, because Rose is having to, like, convince her Moroi. Like, it's a personal... She's having to use, like, people skills, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Like a lot of social skills,
but from the way that we saw the word trial used in the show, I was expecting that some of these would have to be her, like, battling elements. Right. And it's not necessarily that.
No, it's definitely more of a physical and mental fitness kind of test. Because I think we're still in the point where magic is still kind of like
fitness
taboo of using in combat. So it's kind of like more, how can you tough it out, you know? She does get a little check-in. Well, she does think about, obviously, Dimitri again and being like, fuck, remember Victor? What if? What if I
oh my God.
Get a message to him again and see if we bust him out? Because that's the only one who knows someone who has, like, turned Estragoi back to not Estragoi. So those are
because she doesn't have really anything else to do but think. Because she comes in, she's the last person to come in.
Yeah, they really rag her for it. They're like, we thought you weren't going to show
up. And Lissa, before she leaves, before Rose goes in, Lissa gives her a ring.
Oh yeah, a little charm
that she had, like, tried to infuse with charm.
Yeah,
and Lissa, Rose doesn't really feel anything coming off of it, which at this point we don't know if it's, like, working or not. Right. But that's something to know.
Yeah, and she's like, Lissa's not very good at this.
She had said before that sometimes when Lissa had charm stuff, Rose had gotten, like, a negative impact from it, but that didn't happen, thankfully.
So that's good.
Yeah. I forgot about Stan, one of the instructors, and that made me wonder if that dude who we saw as, like, one of the lead, like, Alberta replacements in some of the last episodes of the show was supposed to be Stan.
Ooh, yeah. That does make sense.
Because I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Who does he think he is? Right. And I was like, oh, it could have been the Stan dude. Yeah. But she was, so, like, Rose comes in and she's the last one there, and everyone else has, like, an instructor or a mentor there, like, hyping them up. Very much like the dragon challenge in Harry Potter.
For sure.
And literally Rose is just sitting there, like, by herself, and so she's just like, what should I think about?
Yeah, like, all of her friends are gone. Eddie is busy, Meredith busy, like, no one is there, and obviously she doesn't have Dimitri to hype her up, so she's like, fuck. Gets in her own head of being like, he should have been here, like, this is fucked up, like, should have been giving me guidance, and, like, we should have had, like, a cute rapport, or whatever, before I kick some ass, and it's very sad.
Hurt because she's, like, closing her eyes and imagining what would happen if he had been there. And this is what I missed, and I wish that Ferrero had been on the show more involved, because this kind of dialogue that Rose is imagining in her head is what I felt like was missing a lot from the show between Rose and Dimitri.
Yeah, when fake Dimitri, fantasy Dimitri is like, Rose, sometimes it feels like every day with you is my own personal trial. I had to leave the room. I had to throw my candle out and burn it. Because it's fucked up.
And the fact that, like, she imagines him in her head, like, smiling anyways, even though he's like, God damn it, Rose. Right. And it's wild because the last time that she has imagined him in her head was when Avery did that whole, like, trap in her mind. Yeah. When she had to figure out, like, oh, this isn't real. I would never have been this happy with Dimitri. Right. And it's like, Ferrero, I remember this. Yeah. Don't think I forgot.
I hate it. Thanks, though.
But I was not expecting, and also loved, that Janine showed up.
Yeah, mid-fantasy. She's like, hey, what's up? And they
she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you, like, meditating?
Right, like, are you even paying attention, Rose? Which is so them. Not only is Janine there, but Abe is here, watching in the stands. Which is interesting, because now we know Abe is her father. And it's just kind of like...
And it's, like, late summer. Yeah. That is important to know. Right. Because Homeboy is in, like, multiple layers. sitting in the stands and talking to Adrian.
Yeah.
And Rose is like, I know you want me to get my head in the game, but I can't, because what is Abe saying to Adrian right
What
now?
could they possibly be talking to with each other?
Right. What could they have in common?
Right.
Other than giving me immense grief.
Right. Completely. And
This recap, I will say I'm proud of Ferrero. It's been like 20-ish pages or something. We've gotten less like, hi, my name's Rose.
Right. Here's what you missed on Vampire Academy.
Right, exactly. We get a little bit, but it makes sense now because it's been a couple months.
Right.
Since the last book. So it's contextual and not like, this is my friend Lissa.
Right, yeah. It's not like superfluous, yeah.
It's like, girl, this is a 5th book. We know.
Right.
But to find out that she is like actively dating Adrian,
right,
is wild.
We do get confirmation that he's sort of her boyfriend, which I love that that's how Rose does labels. I very much appreciate that. But yeah, apparently he like, you know, quit smoking, quit drinking. It's just like trying to be a very giving and present lover to Rose. Is very interesting. I don't know if it's in this chapter where it's like the note thing. I think that's later. But that was very funny. But yes, they are, as of this moment, in a bit of a relationship.
And again, I will say, I feel more warmed up to Adrian because of the show.
Right. Yeah.
So, thank you, Leo, for that.
Right.
Something that hurt, but I was very proud of Rose for, is she's like, what happened with Dimitri doesn't mean that my romantic life is over.
Yeah.
And moving on is hard, but like Adrian makes me happy for now.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Right. And the fact that she's not like
just
rushing into anything. But also, you could have just... Rose needs some me time, you know? That was a very traumatic situation you were just in, especially in like a literal like prison scenario, a little Stockholm Syndrome scenario.
Right.
That's a lot to do. And obviously, Adrian's been very good and on his best behavior. But it also doesn't mean you have to do anything, even if it's just for fun or just like low stakes.
Right. And also, book Adrian, I haven't forgotten that you were lusting after Rose.
Right.
For a long time. And then as soon as she was 18, you started dating her, Mr. College Student.
Yeah, true.
I got my fucking eyes on you.
I did love that she like wrote like a literal like college application to be his boyfriend, to be Rose's boyfriend. Was being like, I'll give you all these surprises, but none of these though, because then they won't be surprises anymore. But they will be surprises.
Yeah.
It's very cute. He is a charmer, I gotta say. Whoa.
I agree.
So true.
I think it is, unlike, I still don't like Book Mason.
Yeah.
Fuck Book Mason. I mean, rip. But
right?
Also, fuck Book Mason.
I will speak ill of this dead, for sure.
But I think that it's like, on a scale of like, Mason to Adrian, my answer is like, we don't need to be binary, you know?
Right.
And like, what if she was just single?
Right.
Why can't she just be single?
Let her have a hot girl summer, you know?
Exactly.
Is that a crime? Is that too much to ask for?
Like, let her just focus on graduating and this test. And it seems like right now, Adrian is distracting her from this very important test.
Right.
But, I mean, chapter 2, she's like, I don't really remember it, but I think I nailed it. So.
I think I kind of slayed. Yeah. So she gets called, and they're like... Oh, also we find out that Abe was one of the people that were, like, rigging bets for whether or not Rose is going to show up, which I thought was very funny.
This fucking dude, I swear.
This guy. Great father figure. We'd love to see it.
It's like, well, if I have to be here, I might as well, like, make money.
Make some money, you know? Might as well just have a little side hustle going on.
God damn it.
So, yeah, interestingly, the trials were kind of like a blur in her mind. She doesn't really remember most of what she did.
We love disassociation.
Right. She was all in the game. She was in her grindset mindset, and it all just like
blurred
into her mind. And that's okay. But crucially, she has one specific test that she remembers very clearly.
Right.
And that is on the bridge.
Yes.
And on this, it's like a really shitty, like, it's on ropes. There's like planks.
Like Bridge to Terabithia.
Totally.
Bridge.
Yes, exactly what I was picturing. It's very Bridge to Terabithia. There's some like missing or unstable planks. It doesn't have a lot of support or weight to it. And she has someone who is pretending to be a Moroi, and a bunch of other people pretending to be Strigoi coming up from around the sides, and she has to time it in a way that, he gets across and she can fend off for everyone else. And like you said, it's like also an emotional game of trying to convince a very freaked out, scared Moroi to do what she says for their safety.
And for Rose, the like people skills part of the test is the hardest part.
Yeah. Yeah, because you really just want to say like, fucking go, dude. But
yeah. Because I think the guy who's playing the Moroi, his name is Daniel. And Rose wants to be like, fucking Daniel, let's go.
Right. Yeah. Hey, bud.
But that's not how she would like actually do it on the job, or like how she would say it to Lissa. So she has to be like gentle parenting this fucker.
Yeah, just be like, you're doing great, sweetie. You're so good. Keep going. You got this. And does have like a bit more like persuasiveness of that. And realizes like the bridge kind of shifts a lot here.
Yeah.
And as she's trying to like get him to keep going, she's like, wait a damn minute. I have an idea. Like, drop down, like, on your all fours, and just, like, I'm gonna scream, but, like, don't move. If I'm telling you to keep going, don't do anything.
Daniel, we're playing pretend.
Right, Daniel, this is a game. Just hush voice right now. And she, like, tells him to, like, grab, like, where the ropes are at the base of it, and just, like, hold on for it. And then she goes, all right, don't fucking move, and grabs a fucking knife and starts hacking at the rope of the bridge, causing it to like fully, collapse and lose shape of it while they're still like holding on to it in that way.
Because there are guardians who are playing Strigoi on both sides of the bridge, so it was very much a like, what the fuck are we supposed to do at this point?
Right, like we're fucked.
And the arena where this bridge is, there's a drop of 6 feet, which again, not going to kill them. I mean, if it was Bridge to Terabithia, yeah, but
right.
God, Ferrero Rocher like fucking loved that book. She
God,
was like, yes, pain, suffering. But she was told in this trial to simulate as if that drop was 50 feet,
right,
which would definitely kill them. So when this happens and it works, because she was able to like drop it, the people, like the pretend people, are able to like fall, and then she's able to get out of there.
Right.
The wild thing when I was reading this is I was like, there's absolutely no way that this is how everyone else's trial went.
Right. Because
they would have to like stop and fix the bridge every time, and that would take forever.
Right. That's a whole ordeal,
Right. That would take... So it had to have been something that was harder for Rose, which would make sense, because like she's had other experiences with Strigoi in a non-simulation environment.
Right.
But it's like, what the fuck did they expect her to do other than what she did?
Right. And we notice as the bridge falls, it like goes against like the other building, like the scaffolding or whatever of the other trials and stuff. And she uses it as like a fucking ladder. It becomes fully vertical. And it's the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. And she's just
so smart.
And Daniel's still just like holding on tight, whimpering, crying like a baby. And Rose just like climbs over
at this point,
him.
Probably for real.
Yeah. At this point, it's probably actually scared. And Rose just like climbs over him, like gets to the top of where this Strigoi is, and just like gets him with, they have like, the stakes are blunt, so it's not actually gonna do it, but you have to do as much force as you traditionally would to like prove that you did it, essentially. And
that was just one of the trials,
right? Like
in the arena, she had to like keep going after that,
right? and just like went out an all-out haze.
So much that like near the end of this, she's like, when it finally ended, I almost like didn't realize.
Yeah.
I was just like standing there in the middle of the field and there were no more attackers coming at me.
Right.
And I was like, what? Like, let's go. Like, I'm in it.
Right. Because it's such a different, obviously, experience because she's very much used to real world experiences. And the fact that there's like a start and stop is very jarring, especially like when she's in the moment. She's like, I didn't even think of my instructors as people that I knew. Like, I went full back. Like, I held no punches. Like, I treated them like they were a Strigoi. And just like fully went into that fugue state. And then to have it just like stop, and then like this massive crowd of people like cheering and going, Rose, oh my god, like going absolutely bananas. It's like pulls you out of this like very specific state, you know, and being like, what the fuck just happened? Like, where am I? You know, it feels very disillusionment stuff going on here.
And I know that there's really no other way to prepare the other novices for this, but that's not how it actually happens.
Right.
So it's going to be a very jarring experience when it actually happens for
completely.
them.
Yeah.
That there isn't like it doesn't just stop like that.
Right.
It's not, there aren't clean ends.
Yeah.
But thankfully Alberta does come and is like, hey,
you should get some water.
Sit down.
Yeah. You need to relax. I do love too. She like sits down.
Did you feel about Janine?
God, it's beautiful because Rose sits down. She has some water, or she's sitting down, and Janine offers her a bottle of water, and she's like, "Oh shit," and Rose is a bit silent for a minute, and then goes, "That was it." Which Rose, I love. And Janine gives her, because this is the only way that Janine knows how to talk to her daughter, really, if we're being honest, of being like, you were very good at fighting. You did incredibly well. You know, I'm very proud of you. And, you know, now you actually can be a guardian. This is it. It's like
when parents only talk to their kids about sports because that's all they know how to say.
Yup, yeah.
But Janine was very proud.
Yes.
The end of this chapter when they talk about her getting her guardian mark and we find out that Rose stopped getting individual Molja marks.
Right.
They just gave her a star.
They gave her a star because like, we couldn't keep track anymore. So this is it just shows everyone that you have killed a lot of people, a lot of Strigoi. So congratulations. But
I loved seeing Eddie.
Yes, we got Eddie, and Rose is like, I wonder how Eddie did. I'm sure he did great. Like he's really cool. It was very nice.
And especially because she's like, apparently he got a really high score.
Yeah. And
she asks to, I guess it was like, she said this under her breath, but Meredith was like next to her. And again, this is the first time we've really seen Meredith. Mm-hmm. But Rose is like, I wonder how he got his Moroi over the bridge. And Meredith is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right. It's like, what do you, what?
Because she says, I just crossed the bridge, but I took my Moroi through the maze. And at this point, Rose is like, oh, silly Meredith. She must be so tired.
Like, yeah, like I definitely forgot some stuff. Meredith totally forgot what test she even took. What a weirdo. That's wild.
Yeah, silly Meredith. Yeah. She's so weird.
Right. And so she gets this tattoo, which is like kind of this like very long, skinny S. I kept thinking of the Superman S, which is, I know is
not. That's exactly what I thought about.
Because the way they talk about it, because like usually what they were worried about is that like because she's already tatted up back there, like they wouldn't actually have room to put it in the spot in the middle where like is kind of the signifier of it. But they figured it out. They squeezed it in between, but they also like have it so it's connecting and like wrapping around to the other two on each side, or the other one on each side.
Yeah.
So my
Okay,
brain just
but
kept
imagine
going.
this, though.
Yeah.
The back of Rose's neck looks like someone's doodles on a notebook. She has the Superman S.
Right.
She has a star.
Yeah.
And then these, like, tally marks.
Yeah.
That would be intimidating as fuck.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go up against that for sure.
No, that is someone who is unhinged. So I would be like, no, she'd absolutely kill me. No, thank you.
Right.
But she just had, mind you, this is Rose's day, right? Wake up, get a death threat from your ex-boyfriend.
Right.
Who's now, like, a real vampire.
Yeah.
Go through this, like, hour-long, extensive, mentally, physically draining trial. She's now standing for, like, 2+ hours while all of her classmates get their tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's like, this is great.
I'm chill. I'm really cool being alone with my thoughts. Don't even worry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. And now she's going to a party that her dad's throwing for her in a banquet room. They made, like, a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
At the academy. No, it's like 2007. It'd be like laser tag or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, or like bowling. Probably bowling. That was really popular then.
Yeah.
So she gets very pretty. Yeah. She's in a very pretty dress.
She puts on this nice green number.
Yep.
Puts on her little necklace, her spiritual necklace. Very cute.
Oh yeah, her evil eye.
Yes.
Looks in the mirror, sees that she is fully traumatized.
Yeah. It's very clear on her face and her body. Yeah.
Yep. And then we just get this, like, really interesting kissing moment with Adrian.
Mm-hmm.
Where there are other Moroi watching, which is interesting, I guess.
Because she's like, relationships like this aren't super uncommon, but when your supposed boyfriend is also the niece of the queen, it's a little, and the queen hates you, it's a little bit,
Right. Yeah, and apparently he's like, oh yeah, like this big kiss, that was your reward for just, like, killing it in the trials.
And then we have this dialogue where she's like, well, some people get diamonds as like a reward or as a gift. He's like, I'll get you diamonds. I'll get you all the diamonds. I don't give a fuck. And then Rose has this moment where she's like, no, the kiss is fine. Because she realizes, like, yeah, I was also, like, bribed with gifts and jewelry when in a literal, like, imprisonment scenario. And that is, unreversible trauma at this current moment.
Right.
So maybe...
And it's like, girlie, maybe you shouldn't be with someone right now.
Right. How about we take a hint, okay? How about we just have some good old-fashioned girl time, okay? We don't have to do this.
And I get it. I understand the purpose of rebounds.
Yes.
I understand.
They serve a purpose. Yes, they are they matter.
I understand that you are comfortable with Adrian. I don't get that, but I understand. And that you are trying to ensure that you are, like, building back trust with another person. Yeah. But, like, what if you just gave yourself some time instead?
Mm-hmm. I think that would be good for you.
So that when you looked in the mirror, you didn't have a haunted look in your fucking eyes.
Right. Yeah, it might be helpful.
Yeah, what about that?
We get a little dialogue of Adrian talking about Abe, which I thought was funny, of him being like, he's kind of wild, but he is pretty cool. Like, if any other guy would wear scarves like he does, they'd be laughed out of the room, but he pulls it off, which I thought is very funny.
Loved that Adrian had the audacity to say that Abe is unstable.
Right, like, come on.
And he is.
Right.
He absolutely is. But for Adrian to say that...
Right. Takes one to know one, buddy. Come on.
Right, exactly. Just, like, look in the mirror, dude. This party.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
So much is going down.
There's... Okay. So, there's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And Rose is very overwhelmed by how many people care about her. Relatable.
Yeah.
And they all want to talk to her, and she's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what to do.
But we finally, it's in like 40 pages, and we get the love of my life, Christian Ozera.
Christian, he's back, baby.
Who comes in and is like, well, you finally got a license to kill. Congrats.
I missed this Christian.
I love him.
I missed snarky, annoying Christian with a heart of gold. I missed him so bad.
I miss this man who just very adamantly says that he does not give a fuck, but cares so much about people.
Mm-hmm. Ugh, so
Where's
good.
the Christian that lit Jesse Zeklos on fire? Where is he?
Justice for this Christian.
Also, Jill's here.
Yeah.
Hey, does anyone remember Jill? I didn't.
She's around. Lil Sis Jill.
Lil Sis Jill.
Lil Sis is here.
Right.
From this, we do get confirmation that Christian and Lissa are still not together, which is
okay. This is such a mess.
It's a mess. It's messy. Because
they are both obviously have feelings, but they will not communicate with each other.
They're so stubborn. And what they're doing is intentionally riling them up so the other person will say something. But neither of them are doing that. They're just like, because they're assuming that like, well, she seems like she's happy, so, or like at least having fun, because like Lissa's like, you know, immediately sees Christian next to Jill and Rose and goes, let me talk to this random guy I don't even know and charm the pants off him with my fucking spirit. And make it seem like we're having the best time in the world. And so it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of them being mad at each other just for pissing each other off. Not because they are not feeling things for each other.
Nasty.
And Rose knows this. And Rose is like, can you fucking talk to her like a real person? Please, God. I'm sick of this. Like,
he's like, no.
It's like, no heart emoji. I will if she does it first. How dare you? Why should I do it? She's already chatting up boys. Get out of here.
Oh my gosh, speaking of chatting up. So Rose takes like 1 second to breathe, looks around, and her father is talking to Tasha Ozera.
Dude.
This man will talk to any woman who breathes.
The poll this woman has at this party is astronomical, because there are like 3 different instances in which she is chatting up other women at this party. That is for his daughter, essentially.
If you give a man a scarf and a room full of women, he will lose it, I guess.
It's chaos.
So,
maybe.
I know in the show, Tasha was dead, but she's still very much alive.
Yes.
In this, and is not immune to Abe, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny, though, that when Tasha ends up coming up to Rose, she's like, hey, will you fucking fix this thing between Christian
like,
and Lissa?
We all see
she's like,
this,
what do you want me to do?
Rose like, I'm trying my best. She's like, try harder, okay? I'm sick of this. Because otherwise, they're going to go to college and never see each other again. So fucking think about it.
Rose is trying to keep the whole world on her shoulders.
Right.
And Tasha's like, do better.
Right. If you had a business that you cared about, you know?
It's so bad. Yeah. And then like, as soon as Tasha is talking with Rose, we find out that Janine is talking to Abe, and they're like flirting.
Right. It's like, guys, stop.
They're insufferable, these two. And naturally Rose is like, listen, I know that you two like created me, but
break it up.
This is
okay.
This is nasty. Yeah. She like pulls a whistle out of nowhere and she's like, stop.
Yeah, red card, get out.
She pulls Abe aside and is like, you are flirting with every woman in this room. Stop. Stop it. This is supposed to be about me, and I don't understand what you're doing here, why you're threatening my boyfriend. Like, right. What is your damage?
Oh, gosh.
And she gets very close to like offending him, and then she's like, wait, I do actually need you for something.
Right.
And she ends up remembering what she was thinking about before she went into the trial, which is like, apparently Lissa had promised Rose at some point to help with Dimitri and try and change him back into a human. And if that doesn't work, then they obviously have to kill him. Obviously. There's no other choice.
Yeah.
But the only way to do that, like the only person that they know that's done that before is Victor, who's locked up in prison.
Yeah. Yikes.
And so Rose is like, okay, actually, before you flirt with more women in this room,
Right.
Could you tell me more about that prison where Victor's locked up?
Yeah. And he's kind of like picking up on what she's doing, but being good, like vague about it. Being like, yeah, there's a lot of them, you know, they exist. There's one, you know, in Alaska, and then sometimes it'll move to, what was it, Argentina or something?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like wherever there's the least amount of sun. Or no, wherever there's the most amount of sun.
Which Rose picks up on. He's like, clever girl, you know? And she's like, okay, cool. So, like, where in Alaska, though? And he's like, stop. What are you doing? What are you trying to do?
But he says that, like, that's information that the Guardians keep close, and it's in their headquarters. And she's like, interesting.
Yeah.
And
then he gets distracted by another woman.
To, like, flirting with women. And she's like, okay, maybe this party was worth it now that I have some information. So apparently she has to go tell Lissa, like, okay, we know the name of this prison. It's Tarasov. We know where to go to find out more information about it, which is the headquarters, which is in the royal court. Now they have more of a very real chance of getting Victor out of prison.
Yeah. It's
which
time for
I forgot
prison
in
break.
the books that, like, Tatiana is queen.
Right.
And Victor is in prison. Because in the show, that's, like, we start off way before that.
Right. So, prison break, question mark? Who knows?
Yeah.
We also do
sneaky times at Royal High, question mark?
Right. We also get confirmation in that conversation with Abe that the bridge thing was specifically to Rose, which, like, Rose gets upset about, not because, you know, she can't do it, but because the way that he talked about it, it was like, oh, they didn't know how this trial was supposed to be solved. Like, there was no...
Yeah, they created a puzzle and they didn't know how it ended.
Right, exactly. So, like they created a thing that, like, could have... I mean, she wouldn't have died, but, like, it could have, you know, been something and, like, could have set her up to fail, right? And she's like, what the fuck is up with these people? How dare they? What's going on?
Yeah, I thought that was wild because, like, it made sense that they made it harder. Like, and I guess, sure. But you should know how it should be solved.
At the bare minimum, yeah. If you're creating a puzzle game, come on now.
God. I thought that was weird. So chapters 3 and 4 are next. And it seems like we will be, I mean, we're in late summer now. So I think that it's Lissa's turn probably to graduate.
Yeah.
And then I think we say goodbye to St. Vlad's. I think we're on to new territory, which is wild.
Yeah.
Now we're on to some Ocean's 8 shit, which I like.
Gosh.
We have some fantastic patrons to thank. Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Katie Black.
Ooh. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ooh. Thank you to Mulch Gray.
Mulch. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Ooh. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Cassandra O'Shea.
O'Shea. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ow. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh. Thank you to Rachel Ashford.
Ow. Thank you to Vivian Yulee.
Ooh. Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ow. Thank you to Samara Rinaldi.
Ooh. Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ow, ow, ow. Thank you to Danielle Berg.
Ooh. Thank you to my mom, your mom, our mom, Kelly Beck.
Ow. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh. Thank you to Laura Forty.
Ooh. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh. Thank you to Maria Swan.
Ow. Thank you to India Peach.
Ooh. Thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ow, ow. Thank you to Jaylene Ivashkov.
Ooh. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Thank you.
Come on down.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I imagine heaven's like. Is the it's just that set.
Yeah.
But not with but with Bob Barker, not with the guy who shares my birthday. He will not be named.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a fan fiction for you. It is from the author Dance_L_Dance.
Right.
It is titled For the Little Hampier. The summary goes, each night he lifted a shot because it reminded him of her. And this is a Rose Hathaway and Adrian Ivashkov fanfiction. Because I was trying to figure out, honestly, like, do people ship this? Like, is this... Because I don't get it,
Right.
to be honest. So I was trying to see. And this one seemed sad. So I was reading it.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking out the window, at the faint dusting of snow on the grounds that was beginning to melt, Adrian sighed and poured himself a shot of the same apple stuff that he loved so much, the drink that reminded him of the dark-haired Hampier. He took a swig of it, downing it all in one gulp, feeling it burn slightly as it trailed down his throat, and then the sweet aftertaste came. No wonder the drink reminded him of Rose. His green eyes took on a wandering look as he gazed outside at the dark night. It had started to rain, a faint sprinkling, but his eyes could catch it with no problem. He poured himself another shot, lifted it to his lips, and never took his eyes off the window. In his mind, however, he pictured the very object of his affections, standing with him in the room, her dark hair and eyes luminous, and her full mouth twisted into a confident and warm smile. He tilted the shot glass back and downed it without any other thought other than her. Her. For you, little Hampier. End scene.
Whew. Lord.
Knowing that he has given up, like, all of his coping strategies in these last two chapters for her, has been interesting to read.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it, but also, like, damn, you know? So, I am curious, but also, you folks, I would love it if you send in fan fiction.
Yes.
Because I am constantly worried about spoilers. I keep seeing stuff and I'm like, I can't tell if this is real or not.
Right. Like,
so,
I don't know if I should click.
Right, exactly. We have so many recommendations for you. Tell your friends about the show. Get the book from your local library. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
Get bit.
And get whipped.
Ooh. Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.